Yo, what up, a-holes? Thank you for tuning into the Holistic A-Hole podcast. My name is Erik Levi, and I am the Holistic A-Hole, the mommy blogger with balls, the inconvenient truth of health, and a certified holistic nutritional therapy practitioner. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing lovely. Hope you don't hear too much of an echo in your earbuds, because I'm A-Hole Studios is a fluid, constantly changing location, and today we're in A-Hole Studios adjacent, which may become A-Hole Studio permanent. But we're just testing the location. I got a beautiful view here of lovely San Juan, Puerto Rico, and things are good here, man. The sun is shining like it is every day. Everybody's happy, of course, right? Everybody's unhappy. Nobody's happy. People are just triggered and angry. And what is that about? You know what I realized actually recently? I had this thought like the other day. Actually, I think it was yesterday, which is another day other than today. I realized that I'm no longer triggered by stuff. Isn't that crazy? I would say up until recently. But definitely, like, I feel like for a long time I had this problem where I was so triggered by so much stuff online, right? Online. And, also in person too. Things would set me off the handle, like shit traffic, or just people, tossing cigarette butts on the ground, or whatever it is. But something happened in the last couple weeks, and I feel like I have found like a piece of peace in my mind. And, it's to the point now where it's like, I used to go, part of my daily regimen is to, of course, like click on, a news channel, couple news channels, and see what's going on. And in reality, I realize this news doesn't apply to me. It's clickbait news. Why do we click on it? Because we have a need to feel, triggered. And what is that triggering? What is that? What is that triggering emotion? You know what it is? It is the need to feel significance. You know what I mean? That's why people comment and make such explicit statements about things, because we have an innate need to feel significant. And this is not me like making this up. This is Tony Robbins, right? And I love Tony Robbins. I just came from a Tony Robbins event, which I'm gonna talk about here in a few minutes. But this is what it is. It's the need that you're looking, like we're looking for a thing online to just piss us off, right? To just piss us off, to confirm our beliefs in the thing that we decided a long time ago we were going to believe in, and now this thing is going against that. And it's not like a surprise that we found that thing that goes against our beliefs. We knew we would find it. In fact, we looked right in the place where we knew it would be. Social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, whatever it is, you went there because you knew you were looking for something to piss you off. And that's how I spent so much time the last few years. It's just going to these places, not because I have a need, like a real Maslow hierarchy of needs, need to be in these places. I can survive just fine not looking at Facebook ever again for the rest of my life. But why do I go there? I go there because I'm looking for something that somebody says to piss me off. And then why do I do that? So I can, reconfirm my confirmation bias to say, well, this guy's a fucking asshole. Because that's what we do when we're driving too, right? When we're in traffic, somebody drives too close to us or makes a turn in a place we wanted to go, and we're like, that guy's a piece of shit. That guy's a fucking idiot. We don't know that guy or girl. Oh, believe me, there's plenty of women too who are, you know what? Let's go on a limb. Let's say there's more women who are awful drivers than men, who you just are like, this fucking bitch, right? We all have those moments, but really that person's probably no dumber than we are. In fact, we're probably much dumber than that person is, right? They did the thing to get ahead of us. They're smarter in that moment. It's the same thing on social media. You go on there and you find the thing that pisses you off because you're like, I need that control. I need that significance. I need to feel in control of things so I can remember what I believe in, and then go on and put some nasty shit down there, and write things that are way too long, that such a small percentage of people are going to read, and you're looking to trigger an argument because you know what it is? You're living your life right now and you don't feel significant. You're at work, you're at some fucking bullshit job, and you're like, this job sucks. I've just been, taken advantage of by the system. The system has held me down. It convinced me to go to college and take out loans I couldn't ever pay back. It convinced me to buy a car that gave me that swamped me in more loans. It convinced me that I need to, be on Tinder and just take girls on dates or go on dates with guys who are never going to fulfill me emotionally, but for some reason I just keep doing it and spending more and more money. So I'm forced to work this job I hate. It makes me feel like a piece of garbage. So what do? You go on social media, you look for something that's going to piss you off so you can comment on it, so you can feel some sort of significance in your life. And at some point, I know the point, I realized, you know what? That's true. Why am I trying to get my significance from social media? Why am I trying to do that? Why am I trying to get my significance by being triggered? And you know what happened? I just stopped giving a shit. And I've said that a million times, and we all say that. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. I'm above this. I'm better. But you're not. You give a shit about it. Every time you say don't give a shit about it, it makes you give a shit about it even more. Listener, that this is you. I'm talking to you right now. How do I know? Because you're listening to me and we relate on this level. So here's what happened to me. I just decided I don't care. It's something inside me just doesn't care. And I'm not saying this because I need the significance from you to feel that I need to justify my actions. I'm saying you because if I go on Facebook, it's now at the end of the day. It's at the end of the day for like 3 minutes and I'm off. And I'm like, there's nobody on here. There's nothing on here that I care about. It's just, I don't know how it happened. It's just all of a sudden, I just don't care. It's like every day there's like some news about stuff that we all get hot about, right? We all get hot about it. And then it just stops mattering after a couple days. But in that moment, it was the most important thing in the world. It was life or death. You lost friends over that thing. And now it doesn't matter at all. Do you remember like a month ago, Trump colluded with Russia? Do you remember that? Up until a month ago, Trump colluded with Russia. He suppressed voters with the help of the Russian government, who came in and murdered people or something who were going to go vote for him or vote for Hillary. And they voted. I don't know. I don't know what the theory is anymore. But now it's gone. Like that story doesn't exist anymore. 2 weeks ago, Trump was a racist. That story's gone. It's just every day something new. And I just decided subconsciously. I didn't consciously decide. I just was like, you know what? I got other shit to do. I got to make money. I got to serve the people. I have to build stuff that is going to be of value. When you do that, when you find that value in your life, like to me, the Holistic A-Hole is the value for me to provide people with what I feel like is the most important health information out there. This is my mission in life. And some of you think it might be corny. Some of you think, hey, I don't care about this. I'm going to go listen to, I'm going to go listen to a podcast about, gaming or something, whatever. That's your thing. Okay. I don't care. This is my mission. And as long as I'm on this mission, I don't care about other shit that may or may not trigger me. I don't care what some dickhead I met, 3 years ago thinks about fucking some dumb topic I don't care about. Like, I don't have time for that shit. And if you want to make progress in your life, I highly advise that you don't care about that shit either. I'm not here to tell you what to care about, but, let me tell you something, man. Mental illness is not just an accident. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of how we've allowed ourselves to just be controlled by algorithms. It's a symptom of, people not taking care of themselves. I saw this quote, and I don't even remember the exact wording of the quote, but it was from Aubrey Marcus, who owns On It, which is a it's a huge, I don't know, what are they, like a health and wellness company? They have, supplements, they sell reishi mushrooms, they do all that stuff, right? They're huge. And if you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast, if you listen to Tim Ferriss, if you any of those, that like kind of circle of people, like they're all about Onnit. In fact, I think Joe Rogan is like a part owner of Onnit. And he said something, had a quote on Instagram the other day, and it was something to the effect of like, everything in life was going great, and then you got sick, and then it was like nothing else mattered other than getting healthy again. And that's what it is. That's what it is. Think about your life like that, Think about your life like that. Like you're doing all of this stuff. You're grinding. You're pushing it to the limit. You're trying to make millions of dollars. You're trying to feel significant. You're trying to get famous. You're running from audition to audition. You're sitting in traffic to get to a thing that's going to give you like another piece. And the whole time you're sitting there, you're in your car. You're drinking your third Starbucks of the day. You got whipped cream on it. You got sugar in it. You're down in a Big Mac or something you got from the McDonald's window. You're chomping on some protein bar that you bought at the end cap of a Target that has insane amounts of sugar and processed ingredients. It's only hurting you, and yet when you get sick, it's like you feel like you want to die. And all of the other shit you were doing, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter at all, because now the only thing that matters is just getting healthy. Well, if you just stay healthy, if you just do the things you got to do to stay healthy, then that week of being sick, the mysterious flu that just pops up every fall and winter because people don't take care of their adrenal glands, and they start feeling these flu-like symptoms that they call the flu, and they run out and get flu shots for, just pop up and take you down for a week or two. And then you tell me, you're like, look, Eric, see, the flu is real. No, your shitty adrenals are real. That's what's real. That's what's real. Your lack of vitamin C, your lack of sleep, your lack of self-care, your lack of ability to carve out just 20 to 30 minutes for yourself to have some kind of mindfulness practice, to be grateful for the fact that you could even get up and hustle and grind. Man, I don't even know how I jumped on this soapbox, but I'm so glad I did. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I don't know if I lost people by talking about that stuff, but this is what I feel. This is my personal mission. This is what I've realized. It's taken me a long time to get to these points, but some of you may be in your 20s and you're like, I don't know, I have to make $1 million by the time I'm 35. And you're going to do that thing, you're going to do that thing, you're going to do that thing. And then you're going to be 35 and you're going to be $30,000 in debt. You're going to be, working 3 jobs. You're going to be, just constantly sick. You're going to be divorced or broken up. You're going to be, on this Tinder grind, and you're going to be miserable. You're like, why am I miserable? It's because you kept focusing on the shit. You kept focusing on the shit, and you compromised your health. And you don't got to do that, dude. You don't got to do that. If you find the joy in just being healthy and just, waking up every day and knowing that, man, again, I'm not sick. Like, I'm not sick, The holistic a-hole here, I've been sick in 2 years. I got the sniffles, like a couple months ago, but I was also like in the middle of 100 different things, including moving. So, yes, things pop up, but you're not going to be sick if you do these things. And actually, what I want to talk about today is a couple stories I've found that have popped up over the last couple weeks. But I also want to talk about how I kept myself healthy while I, went through a pretty grueling travel schedule the last 2 weeks. So, the 2 weeks ago, I left Puerto Rico and I flew to the West Coast to go do a Tony Robbins business seminar. And it was awesome. And again, look, some of you don't know who Tony Robbins is. Some of you think Tony Robbins is snake oil, and some of you think Tony Robbins is fucking God. Whatever bucket you land in, that's you. I'm not here to sell you on Tony Robbins. I genuinely don't care. I know he's not for everybody, but I know the people that he is for do very well with that kind of coaching. And I went to this, and Tony Robbins seminars are notorious for being just physically exhausting because they're long, dude. His date with Destiny is 6 days, and each day is like 15 or 16 hours. Unleash the Power Within is, I did that last fall. I mean, you're talking like 14-hour days with no real access to food or water. I mean, it's and you're jumping around, you're high-fiving, you're doing emotionally draining stuff, and it's unbelievable, but it is absolutely taxing on the body. And I knew that this was what I was in for, and I was dreading it because, the holistic a-hole, I love my little life here in Puerto Rico. I got the freshest fruits and vegetables. I got the best raised possible meat. The food, everything I eat, the minerals are rich because it's grown in the soil from the jungle on an island in the Atlantic Ocean. I got abundant amounts of sunshine. I got the ocean right next to me. I breathe in pretty somewhat fresh air. But it's unbelievable. And then I said, fuck it. I'm gonna go to Las Vegas. I'm gonna go to this Tony Robbins seminar. It's gonna be grueling. And for 5 days, man, I was on my goddamn game. And it's no accident how I was on my game. I was on top of my shit. And then from there, I traveled some more for like another week and a half or so. Didn't get sick, man. I flew like 5 or 6 different times, including the last day, which was the plane was delayed. I missed my connecting flight. I had to stay in freaking Miami. I'm going on no sleep. I mean, it was just crazy, my schedule. And not only did I survive, but I got home and had no jet lag. No sense of illness. Yeah, it's taken me a little bit of time to kind of like get back in my routine because, I mean, dude, when you're gone for 2 weeks, it's like, that's kind of what happens. But I know a lot of you guys are travelers, and, one big thing that pops up is how do you stay healthy, dude? How do you stay healthy when you're on the road, right? Because you can have the greatest diet in the world. You can have the greatest eating routine. You can eat the best foods. But as soon as you go to freaking mainstream America, dude, oh man, all bets are off, especially Las Vegas, especially if you're on the Strip. There is nothing good on the Strip. So my first heads up is if you travel to Las Vegas specifically, and you're like, how can I stay off the Strip? Get an Airbnb that has a kitchen that's, there's freaking grocery stores everywhere, just bite the bullet. Get yourself, first of all, here's what happens is it's cheaper when you stay off the Strip. You get an Airbnb, you could swing that something for like, $50 to $70 a night, right? And you're talking, full kitchen, nice bed, nice house, right? And you're only like a 10 to 15 minute Uber ride from the Strip. And if you're on the Strip, if you want to get anywhere on the Strip, I mean, it's going to take you 10 to 15 minutes to walk from place to place sometimes, especially with foot traffic and the way that thing is laid out. So go and do your best to go hit a grocery store wherever you live and get the shit you need, right? Get yourself a NutriBullet, okay? They're kind of a pain in the ass to travel with, but just have the extra room in your suitcase, okay? Get just like NutriBullet's like $70, $80, okay? Get that thing, bring it with you, start your day off with a smoothie, right? Start off with greens, some protein powder, some fat like coconut oil. If you can find yourself some good quality grass-fed raw butter, get some of that stuff. Did I say greens? Get some greens in there. And all this stuff you can travel with. You can set yourself up. You can have your protein powder packets. You can buy the greens while you're there. If greens aren't a thing, hard-boiled eggs, right? Hard-boiled, good quality eggs. Man, I ate so many eggs on my trip, right? I hard-boiled a dozen eggs before I left, and I brought them with me. And man, let me tell you something. There was a night when I was out, and I needed. My brain just felt like it was like at its most exhausted. And what did I do? I woke up the next day. I ate a couple eggs, got that choline going, got the choline crossing the blood-brain barrier, just blowing it up. Right? So hard boil a bunch of eggs, bring that shit with you. Find yourself, don't go get those Nature Valley granola bars. Those things are garbage, okay? The big thing you got to look out for is extra added ingredients and sugar, okay? Now, I'm not here to promote the keto diet, but as close to keto as you can get, like low sugar, as little sugar as you can get, this is going to help you survive these grueling trips. There's nothing more important on a grueling trip like this than controlling your blood sugar, because this is what affects your appetite, right? If you're on kind of a tight budget and you're like, I can't be spending, money on all of this food. I don't want to eat shit food because I'm starving and I'm only eating the stuff that's around me, which of course in mainstream America is like fast food or garbage chain restaurants. And you're like, I don't want to eat that shit. Well, you got to control your blood sugar. And here's how you control your blood sugar. In the morning, every day, first of all, you don't start your day off with coffee. Do everything you can to stay away from coffee because coffee will shoot your adrenal glands into a full-on panic. And when that happens, they're drawing on your insulin and your blood sugar. And so your blood sugar is going to drop and you're going to get so hungry. So you start the day off with a high fat, high protein, whatever you can get, right? If it's a couple hard-boiled eggs, that's it. Go get some like beef jerky sticks. Those are phenomenal. Some of you are going to hate me for saying this, but sardines are amazing. Pack like 12 cans of sardines if it's a long trip, right? And take them with you. You're going to get so sick of sardines, but I promise you, if you're in the mode of how do I control this shit, sardines are great. Avocados are great. But here's the two big supplements I'm going to tell you three big supplements that I'm going to tell you that you should absolutely have with you when you travel. You want chromium. I like aqueous chromium. It's like little chromium droppers. You just take one little chromium drop. There's also chromium picolinate, which I don't think is proven to be as good as it's chromium. I forget what the second word is, but chromium in any form, it's good for your pancreas. Of course, your pancreas is where insulin comes from. So the more that you can treat your pancreas like a king, the more control it's going to have over insulin, the more insulin sensitive you're going to be, the more you're going to be able to control cravings. Because again, insulin is what drives your blood sugar up and down, right? The other thing is L-glutamine. If you can get yourself some L-glutamine in the morning, take 2 caps of L-glutamine, open them up, dump them under your tongue, take them sublingually. Take the 2 caps of L-glutamine sublingually. Then in the afternoon, about lunchtime, take 2 more caps of L-glutamine like that. Also take some more chromium like that. And then if you got yourself like a multivitamin, make sure, first of all, it has B vitamins. All the B vitamins, 1, 2, niacin, you've got B6, right? You've got B12, and all of these you want is the methylated, okay? So if you see B6, you want it to be P5P. If it's B12, you want it to be methylcobalamin, right? Because your adrenal glands need B vitamins. They also need lots of vitamin C. Okay, so another thing is if you can go get yourself some lemons, go get some lemons and make yourself lemon water in the morning, right? Treat your adrenal glands with good, fresh, whole food vitamin C. You start doing these things, you control your adrenal glands, you control your pancreas, you control your blood sugar, you control your cravings. You control your cravings, you have no desire to eat garbage on the road. Right? Yes, you're going to still get hungry, of course, especially if you're on the road and you're working and you're networking and you're shaking hands and you're kissing babies, you're a high performer, you're crushing it, whatever you're doing. Yeah, you're going to get hungry, of course. There's no doubt about that. But the more that you can control the cravings holistically, like the ways I just told you, this is going to help you from having those blood sugar crashes. This is the reason, this is what fast food restaurants make all of their money off of, is our people's blood sugar crashes. That's why they're all over the goddamn place, right? That's why they're in the middle of the road. They're in the middle of the highway while you're driving through, West Texas, where there's nothing for like 15 hours. You know what I mean? You'll find a McDonald's, you find a Burger King, you find a Wendy's. Why are they there? Because they know after people haven't eaten for anywhere between a half hour to 2 hours, people are not just a little hungry, people are fucking starving. And so people go into these places and they get giant portion, give me the number 2, big size, because you're starving. This is how you fix that. This is how you fix that starving mechanism, right? Chromium drops, L-glutamine, all the B vitamins, remember, methylated B vitamins, and vitamin C. So a good like multivitamin is great. Like you can get the pure encapsulations, daily multivitamin has all the stuff in it. There's a supplement from Biotics Research that's great. It's called, what is it? Beta-glycozyme forte, something glycozyme forte, or I like the chromium and the L-glutamine from Biotics Research as well. But Pure Encapsulations is also a great company to Bioglycozyme Forte. That's what it is. Bioglycozyme Forte it has all the B vitamins, has all the stuff. Specifically, this is a supplement made to help your adrenal glands and help your blood sugar. So this was a little experiment I ran on myself, and it's crazy. It absolutely worked. I was able to, fend off crazy sugar cravings, even though there were some points where I did not eat so well. But it's not because I was forced to, it was because I was starving. It was because, hey, I'm in a social situation. This is how you roll with it, right? But I hope you enjoyed that tip. Let me know if that works for you. Just shoot me a message on Instagram at Holistic A-Hole, Twitter at Holistic A-Hole, Facebook Holistic A-Hole. Shoot me a message. Let me know if that works for you. Because, I think in the coming, I don't want to say nothing, but yes, this is a good strategy. So speaking of fast food restaurants, there was a study that came out this month. I think it must have been last week, actually. And this is middle of August, 2019. And this article is titled "Study: Areas with more fast food restaurants report more heart attacks." So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this study wins the No Duh Award for the week. I'm just blown away they even had scientists on this. Like, you're a scientist, you're like, hey man, I want to study like heart disease. I'm like looking to get into like the real nitty gritty. I'd like to understand the Krebs cycle some more. And they're like, no, we actually need you to, what do you think? You think people around fast food restaurants have more heart attacks? Let's spend millions of dollars and figure that out. And what do they figure out? Of course, people who live around fast food restaurants have more heart attacks. Of course, like, I don't understand. Was there anybody who was genuinely questioning that, like genuinely denying that? Like, there's no proof. There's no proof that people who live very close to fast food restaurants have more heart attacks. In all fairness, I mean, there's fast food restaurants everywhere, so it's really hard to live somewhere and not, live by fast food restaurants. But of course, man, the more access you have to fast food, the more heart attacks you're gonna have. What are we talking about here? Where is the mystery? Of course you're gonna, if you live in close proximity to a fast food restaurant, you probably are going to that fast food restaurant. Even me. I don't eat the fast food restaurants, but I lived by Burger King for like 6 years, like right down the street. I didn't live by Burger King in forever, and then I lived by I ate there one time because I was just curious. I was like, what is this about? And it was not good. Man, I miss loving Burger King. I loved Burger King when I was younger. That was my fast food place. And man, I don't know if it's me, if I grew up, or if they just got worse, but it was so unsatisfying. That was the last I ever had Burger King. And that was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. I'll tell you what I do. I miss Taco Bell a little bit. I miss Jack in the Box. I miss, I've had Shake Shack, I think once or twice. That was okay. I do miss that stuff a little bit, but really it's like, I know it's not even a craving of mine. It's like, I look by it and there's like feelings of nostalgia, but then there's also an even stronger feeling that remembers how terrible I felt when I ate that stuff. So, me and fast food, like you could put me, I could rent a room in a fast food restaurant. I still wouldn't eat the shit. You could rent me the floor next to the fryer. All right, maybe I'll take a few French fries, but yeah, no, but this is what they do to people because people don't have the education in this that I do. And I'm not saying that like to disparage anybody. I'm just saying that 99.999% of people don't follow health stuff as intentionally as I do. And look, it's like I said, when your blood sugar's crashing, you want something, you need something to eat. You live by a fast food restaurant. Fuck yeah, you're just gonna go to the fast food restaurant. And it's gonna satisfy that craving. You're gonna feel terrible, and it's gonna increase your probability of having a heart attack. The funny thing to me in this article is that I think they interviewed one of the researchers or whatever, and they blame the heart attacks on the risk factors associated with fast food restaurants, right? And so, they're talking about, well, of course, it's really no surprise that, that fast food causes more heart attacks because of all the saturated fat. High salt and saturated fat in fast food. Previous studies have shown that the poor nutritional value, high salt and saturated fat in fast food is connected to heart disease. Right? High salt, body actually needs salt, actually needs sodium. Sodium is what helps transport minerals across and nutrients across the cell walls. You absolutely need sodium. And saturated fat, all the research that shows that this idea that saturated fat causes heart disease has been debunked. I mean, more times than it's like people still believe that the earth is flat. That's the equivalent of people who think that saturated fat causes heart disease. Is saturated fat associated with heart disease? Of course. You know what else is associated with heart disease? Not sleeping enough, right? Stress, having a job you hate, having a spouse you hate, talking on the phone too much, looking at too much social. All these things are associated with heart disease. You know what else they sell at fast food restaurants? Call me crazy, but the last time I saw a cheeseburger, it included meat, cheese, and 2 buns. 2 buns. 2 buns. That's 1 more bun than there are patties, beef patties. Yeah, I know the beef is of garbage quality. I'm not defending the beef they use. I would never recommend somebody, hey, you want to eat, you should eat more beef for B12 and iron and, protein in these things. Go to McDonald's and get a Big Mac. Big Mac has 2 beef patties and 3 buns. Oh, but somehow it's the saturated fat in the beef. Somehow it's the saturated fat in the beef. Oh, it's not the fact that it's, beef that's full of antibiotics and, omega-6 fats and, comes from an animal that was just fed grain and corn and was tortured its whole life. Not to mention this beef patty was cooked on a grill with vegetable oil. So it's just full of rancid, toxic fatty acids. Never mind that. Never mind the fact that it's sandwiched between 2, bleached, processed grain buns full of also antibiotics and GMOs. It's the saturated fat and the salt. You need to look in the goddamn mirror, you researchers. You can't let the holistic a-hole school you like this. So big surprise, right? People who live by fast food restaurants have more heart attacks. So what do? Do you move? You could, or you just don't go to the fast food restaurants. How many times we got to say this? If you want the fast food restaurants to stop taking advantage of you, stop going to the fast food restaurants. Stop getting hungry every time you see a commercial for French fries or chicken nuggets or burgers. The burger they put in that commercial never looks like the burger you get at the fast food restaurant. You know that. If you go to fast food restaurants, the burger you saw in between quarters of the game, that is not the burger that they're giving you at Wendy's. Oh my God, has anybody dropped the ball more than Wendy's on the transition from television ad to real life burger? How good do Wendy's burgers look on TV? The bacon, cheddar, mushroom burgers they used to, oh my God. Do they still have them? I don't know. I haven't been to Wendy's in so long. And even when I was eating fast food, Wendy's was not my first go-to. But good Lord, did those burgers look like perfectly square, just drizzling with grease, just fresh lettuce and tomatoes and bacon just popping right in front of you, right in front of your eyes. Then you go to there and it looks like it was put together by somebody missing fingers. Looks like it was put together by someone who just exited a very abusive relationship. Looks like it was put together by a goddamn crocodile. It's missing things. The bun is ripped up. The thing looks like it's glued together by super glue. The wax paper comes in just full of oil. Wendy's just drops the ball so hard. And the fries, tell me one time you went to Wendy's and got fries that were warmer than room temperature. Tell me. I dare you. You'll never be able to tell me because you know you're lying. You know it's never happened in the history of Wendy's. All right, fast food, you can suck it. You suck. But if you live there, if you live around a fast food restaurant, you know you're better than that. You don't have to move. Just go to the grocery store that's like down the block and get yourself some good food. Okay. One more story, and we'll wrap this bad boy up. Check this out. This was an article I found on Yahoo News. Gamers risk health in bid to be esports millionaires. So this is crazy, right? This is pretty wild. This idea that you've got esports, and esports isn't just like, nerds hanging out in their mother's basement playing games. Esports is a billion-dollar industry. In fact, any smart parent now would highly encourage their child to spend as much time playing Fortnite as humanly possible. If they know their kid is not going to be, a great athlete, if they're a little stupid and they're not going to get into law school or medical school or, be able to think on their own, plop them down in front of a TV and make them learn how to play Fortnite or Madden or whatever the games are that esports players play to make any bit of this $1 billion. This is what you got to do, because this is what esports is. You got kids playing video games 12 hours, 16 hours a day, just getting lethal, getting sick, nasty on these games so they can dominate. Because this is real money. This is real business. Jesus Christ, you got kids. You don't have to, it's not even about esports, the tournaments. It's about, you could have a YouTube channel that you play esports and have millions of viewers making millions of dollars. You could be on Twitch, right? There's so many platforms for gamers. It's unbelievable the world we live in today. But what's really going on is when you sit on your ass and you play video games for 12 hours a day, especially if you're an 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid, oh my God, good luck surviving natural selection. Natural selection is looking to take you out because you are completely useless to the human race. I know that seems a little extreme, but if you're not one of these top gamers making the money, you have no purpose. You cannot serve anybody in the world. You're wasting this valuable evolutionary gift we have called thumbs. Evolution gave us thumbs. It's what separates us from the rhesus monkeys. We have them, and you're using them to fucking shoot at dragons or whatever. How are you going to build anything in the Green New Deal? How are you going to contribute anything to society? We need like 300,000 windmills. We need at least, I would say, 3 million windmills. We need dams. We need to, take down every single building in the country and rebuild it with new windows and shit. Are you going to put in a window with your cramped up thumbs? Your terrible eyesight? This is what's happening to gamers. Their eyesight has just gone to shit. One kid was saying he went to the eye doctor because he couldn't see out of his eye. The eye doctor told him to stop looking at the TV, to stop playing games for 6 months. That's all he had to do was 6 months. This kid couldn't even do it. Now he's blind in an eye. They've got crippling arthritis. Of course you do. When you do nothing but sit on your fat ass. That is not the gift that evolution gave us. Sitting on your fat ass is not how the caveman caught the goddamn gazelle and fucking ate dinner, or the buffalo, whatever they ate. You cannot hunt and gather by sitting on your ass. You have to move. Of course we've got childhood diabetes. You get diabetes by sitting on your ass, playing games, drinking soda, and eating chips. Oh, but I thought it was saturated fat, Eric, that gave you diabetes. Well, not as much as fucking canola oil and potato chips. Not as much as high fructose corn syrup in Starbursts. Or whatever the hell these kids eat. And you better believe they know who their target audience is. These fucking candy companies and snack companies. You better believe they know they're trying to get those gamers. That's why they're coming out with all kinds of crazy-ass flavors. They still got Gushers. Remember Gushers? Those are still a thing. Those are still a thing. My mom loaded me with Gushers when I was a kid because I wanted those fucking things because they were delicious. You bite in and they gush. They gush more corn syrup into your mouth. You got a layer of sticky corn syrup on the outside. You bite in that motherfucker. Corn syrup goes right into the back of your throat. And of course you don't eat just one. You don't eat one Gusher. You eat 3 packs. My house was loaded with fruit snacks. And this is like the beginning of the fruit snack era. I came up at a time where you had to walk, 200 feet in the snow. You didn't do that. But there wasn't a lot of fruit snacks. Now there's fucking Franken fruit snacks everywhere. And these gamers are eating it up. They're sitting there playing games with their opposable thumbs. Losing ability to use their thumbs. They're wearing bowling gloves because their wrists are so jacked up. Their necks are jacked up. Their knees are jacked up. And you want to pass the Green New Deal and have these motherfuckers in charge of building this shit? Look, if we employed them to be the SimCity people to design this shit, okay, fine. That's all they could do is design a fantastical place that will never, ever get built. Otherwise, these people are completely useless. So, yes, of course esports is destroying our kids, but do I say that we shouldn't have esports? Fuck no. If it's $1 billion business, then that means people like it. That means people should have it. It's just if you're trying to be, if you're listening to this holistic a-hole and, you are like a an esports gamer, you got to take care of yourself, dude. You got to get up and walk. You got to run. You got to, you got to bench press shit. You got to do squats, walk around multiple times of the day. Get your 10,000 steps, whatever you got to do. Don't eat sugar. Eat vegetables. Drink smoothies while you're playing games. Stand up. Stand up while you play the games. I'm telling you, man, nothing will hurt you more than hemorrhoids from sitting on your ass all day, or diverticulitis, or Crohn's, or any of that gut shit. You're going to feel like you have colon cancer, and you know what's going to happen to you? The doctor's going to come at you. He's going to look at you. He's going to be like, guess what? Your gallbladder is broke. Your gallbladder's broke, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to cut that motherfucker out of you. And you're going to go, do we absolutely need to cut that motherfucker out of me? He's going to go, there's no other option. This is how the lights stay on at the goddamn hospital. You think we're just going to prescribe like beets and vitamin C and high fat to help empty your gallbladder? I want to buy a Ferrari. I want to buy a Tesla. So you better believe you better get on that goddamn table tomorrow, drink some of this crazy ass fluid, and I'm pulling that motherfucking gallbladder out of you. This is what it is. If you game hard, but game responsibly. Do your due diligence, take care of yourself. And if you got a kid who's going through this stuff, you gotta make that motherfucker move. You gotta make him move. Or her. Some tells me the esports is filled with more boys than girls, but I could be wrong. I don't know. What I do know is that we've come to the end of the episode. I hope you all enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for listening. If you're looking for me online, you want you want to say what's up, you want some health coaching, you want any of this stuff, reach out to me, Erik. What are we talking about? Holistic A-hole on Instagram, Holistic A-hole on Twitter, Holistic A-hole on Facebook, Holistic A-hole's Facebook group. And you can shoot me an email, Erik Levi Nutrition, if you're looking for some health coaching. I'll be sure to help you out. Hope you guys have a great day, a great week, a great month, a great year. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Go on to iTunes, leave a 5-star review. Tell all your friends about the Holistic A-Hole podcast. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.